Hi, friends. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Garden Challenge. Today, we are going to be covering challenge number one, steps 4, 5, and 6. And just a little review of last time, we found our garden zones. We found what vegetables and fruits can grow there and what are our favorites. We made plant profiles for at least the top 3 to 5 things that you want to plant or less or more, whatever you want. And then we drew our garden plants. So today we're going to get into steps 4, 5, and 6. We're going to figure out what gardening tools we will need. We will figure out our gardening supplies. Maybe not get them yet, but we're going to make lists. And also, I think this is the most important part of the challenge is to find a local gardening group and or buddy, whether it's online, in person, or both. The more, the better. Okay, so let's get to it. So this page is in the book. If you have it, you can go to page, it looks like it's the 3rd page, and you can add to it if there's some other things you think you need, or if you have them, you can cross them off. And we're going to go with the tools first. So get your gardening tools. So here are the things that you should have for at like a minimum for doing your gardening. And honestly, I have all of these things except for I do not have number 1. I just use my hands. I like to get my fingers dirty. You will need, or if you use your hands, you won't need this, but it would be nice to have a hand trowel, a shovel, a rake, pruning shears, or scissors. I don't have shears. I have scissors, but I think I want to get some of those. And then a watering can and or hose, and some things that you can get if you want. These are just a few examples. You can add more to your list for the future. One of these is a hand fork. Here's 2 different styles, a wheelbarrow, a pitchfork, and a garden hoe. So what are the top 3 garden tools that you use in your garden? For me, I personally use the most, of course, water, probably the scissors and the shovel. I don't use any of these on this end. I don't use a wheelbarrow. I just carry huge boxes, and it's probably bad for my back, but that's all I do. Anyway, so that is that. And then the next thing is to get your gardening supplies. So seeds, compost, mulch, garden soil potting mix, gardening pots, or bags. I personally love these gardening bags because I used to use some pots that were plastic and they didn't last that long. They lasted 1 season because it's so hot and sunny here. But these bags I've been able to reuse. These are really pretty. You can move them if they need to be moved. Like if you know there's going to be a freeze, you can move it to a warm area. If they need more sun, you can put them out in the sun more. If they need less sun, you can move them to a shadier spot. So I really like those. You don't have to worry about pulling weeds that much. Sometimes weeds do start growing in there, but it's really nice. And it has the rich soil in there. We're going to go over a recipe for the rich soil that you can mix to put in your gardening bags. And then some things that you can get if you want. And I think I only have one of these things. Gardening gloves, knee pads, pH meter or soil monitor, compost bin, supplies for a raised garden bed. By the way, this compost bin is, I have something similar to this. This other one is nice if you can do it. There's like 3 spots and you're going to fill up one first and then go to the next one and the next one. And then after a long amount of time, then you can go back to that first one. It should be broken down before the other 2 and use that and then start refilling that one and then just use one at a time. And then see, raised garden beds. I thought this looks so pretty. These are like gardening goals. I don't have all this stuff yet. I'm gardening on a budget, so I know many of you probably are too. And here's a kitchen composter. I have friends that have something like this. I forgot what their brand is called, but they love it. They have 2 of them. They put their food scraps in there right from the kitchen. Can't smell it, doesn't stink or anything. So then you could also get some hydroponic gardening supplies if that's what you want to do, or a tower garden or something like that, and a water collection barrel. So of these things, I do have a composter. I do have the pH meter for the tower garden because that's the most important thing where the plants get the nutrition from is from the water, and it has to be the right pH for it to grow. I never tried a soil monitor, but my soil is basically sand. And that's another reason why I use the gardening bags, because the soil here in Central Florida is not great. And I haven't had a chance to build mine up that much yet, but I'm working on it. And I do have a water barrel too. So I really like that. I feel like I save water, and it's nice to put natural rainwater that hasn't been treated with any chemicals or chlorine or whatever So it's nice. I think my plants love it when they get the natural water instead of the hose water. But sometimes I got to use hose water because I'm out of natural water. Anyway, are there any gardening supplies that you can't do without that I didn't mention here? Please post them in the comments. I'm curious to see if I missed anything. Okay, and finally, find a local gardening group and or buddy. So you can find local in-person and or online groups. I'm kind of half extrovert, half introvert. I would rather meet people online, maybe have one or two people that I deal with in person because I need balance. So do whatever works for you, do your style, find groups so you can be part of a local community that's doing the same thing you are. They will help motivate you. They will give you ideas. I'm in some groups and sometimes they'll let everybody know, hey, we got a lot of extra mulch and we need to get rid of it. Come pick it up for free, but you got to move it. So like things like that, there's opportunities to, and then you might have some things that you can donate to people. I feel like gardeners are some of the most sharing and kind people because they want everybody else to garden. It's like it's not a competition, it's cooperation, and you're going to love being in these groups. So I follow some local groups here in Orlando and some that are close to my zone. I follow people on TikTok, I follow people on Facebook. I have some YouTube channels. So you can find people that way. You can find out what worked for them in your area because it's so different from zone to zone. Like if you're in zone 3 or 4, you can watch what I'm doing, but you probably can't even grow a lot of the stuff I'm growing here because, banana plants, mango trees, they need it really hot. So anyway, find at least one local gardening buddy so that you can help each other out. You can share your tools, your compost, your mulch. You can exchange seeds, you can exchange perennials, harvested fruits and veggies, advice and encouragement. Those are the most important. And maybe you can start a community garden in your area. Or maybe you can have a produce stand if you start producing a lot of fruits and veggies and you want to start selling them or sharing them. That would be kind of cool. It would be a nice way to meet your neighbors too. But there might be restrictions on that. Like I don't know what the laws are in every city or state. So just make sure it's legal. So community, I think that's the word for today. I love seeing communities come together. Like this is a city and there's big buildings there, but yet they found the spot to start growing. It looks like they're growing trees. They got the little tents up. Looks like they go there on the weekend and maybe plant things, maybe harvest things. I love to see the kids there too. And this one too. I love seeing kids learning about gardening. It's going to give them that little spark that they need to do this when they get older. Here's another one. Looks like it's right downtown. That's cool. More kids. I love seeing this. This is so motivational. Look at this one in the middle of the neighborhood. These look really nice. These raised beds look awesome. Trying to figure out what they're growing. A lot of green leafy stuff. It's amazing. And there's the produce stand. So maybe someday you'll be selling your food too. Look at all that corn, tomatoes. So yummy. And I just wanted to share this with you. I love this. It says, if we wait for the government, it will be too late. If we act as individuals, it will be too late. If we act as communities, it might just be enough. And one thing I love about the gardening community is that it's very diverse. You don't have to be a member of any certain political party to be a gardener. Like people just come together as communities and we try to take care of each other. I think that's how it should be. Anyway, I really liked that. So I'm going to leave you with this quote. A person who is growing a garden, if he's growing it organically, is improving a piece of the world. He's producing something to eat, which makes him somewhat independent of the grocery business, but he's also enlarging for himself the meaning of food and the pleasure of eating and sharing it with your neighbors. That's from Wendell Berry. Don't really know who he is, but I love that quote. So in summary, step 4, get your list or actually buy your gardening tools and supplies and find a local gardening group and or buddy. I think you should get both of them and build your community. So I will see you the next time when we start challenge number 2. Peace.